There, her off-time, her girlfriends thought she was way off. He walked the boy. They talked like an electric circuit. They had it all worked out, except she must have got cold feet on the day of the robbery because she called in sick. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, in the 85-degree blue-collar melancholy sun, disguised in his brother's red and yellow striped wool ski mask, armed with a stainless steel fork and 15 years of Catholic Italian longing, Frank ran into the Kentucky Fried Chicken in the corner of Butternut Lodi. Finding no one behind the counter, he yelled to the two people sitting at the booth, eating their original recipe breast, "Everybody hit the deck!" And they looked up at him, and they laughed. The manager sauntered oh too casually out from the back room. Frank screamed again, this time slamming his fork down so hard on the counter that he cut his own hand. And the three people saw the blood and the unrelenting fierceness in the eyes behind the ski mask, and they knew he was serious. Through the dusty and streaked plate glass window, passerby could easily have witnessed three people huddled on the ground and a masked Frank, fork gripped in midair as he jammed down the register button, grabbed $214 and fled. First time he told me this story was 15 years later on a blustery evening or broke down in the sub-zero snow this side of the Canadian border. That lonely orange U-Haul squeaking with every jet of northern icy wind provided a refuge in his camp for 8 hours. Me and Frank in the front, sharing cigarettes, later end-butts, flannel shirts that had been discarded in earlier one summer days. Come on, you states, the sun called. Shed those skins till I've forgotten behind the seats, now taken out and used as blankets and stuffed into door cracks to guard against the razor chill. After a few hours in the boredom peaked, and the conversation snowballed, and turned heated, and sillier, and confessional, and redeeming, and Frank told me about his Italian grandmother, how she'd stare at his carved body, every inch of which was covered with a thick rug-like hair, and she'd shake her head Sicilian serious, and she'd moan in broken English, "Blood of the wolf! Blood of the wolf!" In that truck, Frank threw back his head and howled with laughter. Then he told me how he robbed a Kentucky Fried Chicken with a fork. And I screamed with laughter, "A fork! A fucking fork!" So hard I actually got warm for a few minutes. When they found us 8 Blue Bone cold chill hours later, I was half asleep, but Frank was still doing imitations of his boyhood hero, AC/DC's Bon Scott, yelling, "And he made it out with a bullet in her back!" across the Canadian snow. I have to speak to you parenthetically. This really isn't part of the song, but I haven't had any sleep in about 48 hours, having just come over in the plane. My friend Frank, and so I have a lot of time, because I'm alone a lot, to think about shit that no one really gives a fuck about. But now I have you guys here just all watching me like I'm a fucking on a carnival act of some sort. And so I'll talk to you things about go through my head. My friend Frank, he loved Bon Scott. He also loved Phil Lynette from Thin Lizzy. I get to play Limerick Island. They let me play through Phil's amp, David Howard, and which is a big treat for me, you know, being able to do that. Let's talk about Thin Lizzy and Phil Lynette if we could for just a moment. They had a lot of great songs. They had 2 huge hits in the United States, Jailbreak and The Boys Are Back in Town. Let's talk about Jailbreak if we could. The chorus of Jailbreak goes as follows. Tonight there's going to be a jailbreak someplace in this town. How about the fucking jail? Wouldn't you go there? You would go there. You wouldn't go to the McDonald's. That's all I have to say. That was 8 years ago. Frank drives for somebody else and I moved to Texas. We couldn't make a go of our business in upstate New York and the banks repossessed our truck. Last night when I was headed to the CD player, I thought I heard that truck outside beeping. I rode in that truck for half a decade. I know the sound of it and Frank's loud, impatient black coffee and V8 juice horn blast, and I was ready to ride. But when I went to the window, there was no truck. And as my eyes scanned the Texas horizon, I thought I saw running behind the trees a boy. He was wearing a ski mask. He was holding a fork. Woo! Thanks. Well, I'm broker than broke, and it's all up in smoke. I got 0. Gambled and beat, no shoes on my feet. I'm no hero. My luck is all lost at a horrible cost. I'm down, held to ground, and viewed as nothing. Well, they ain't got nothing they can take away. Got all the time in the world to check out this gorgeous state. Ain't got no cell phone bill collectors, leave me alone. Ain't got no unaffordable mortgage, I know unaffordable home. And I gotta say, I'm the happiest man in the world. Now look at my friends, they're all like jewels, ain't I rich? Some people get power and they act like fools, I never switch. Sitting on a park bench, I'm loving the sun. I ain't got a nickel, and it sure is fun. And I gotta say, I'm the happiest man in the world. The more shit you got, the more shit you got that you bring. Put down that cell phone and talk to me face to face. And I'm checking on people, and I'm loving their ways. And I ain't been broker in all of my days. And I gotta say, I'm the happiest man in the world. And I gotta say, I'm the happiest man in the world. Thank you very much. 3. Absolutely true. Do you know where I can get the Saxon CD? Oh, never mind. Right here. Don't worry about it. I was worried. I didn't want to leave without it, and I just wanted to make sure. But it's right here. It's right in front of Salvatage. Okay. When you go over there, a lot of my friends and relatives, they say, oh, you're going away on a trip. You're going to be gone for 10 days. Where are you going first? I said, I'm going to go to Scotland. See if you can pick up the Saxon CD. I said, I'm going to look for it when I get there. Don't anybody worry. It's right here. All right. Has anybody got, could I use your phone to call home and let them know that I got this?
I'll text them. I'll send a text.
I don't know if that's a long distance charge for you, but my ex-wife is going to want to hear about that. We'll talk about that later. Okay. 3, absolutely true. People waiting at the airport with my name, Hamill, and then underneath, did you get the Saxon CD? They're looking at me, but they're looking at my hand. See it? Got it. And I know this shit will end up, this show will end up on YouTube, and it'll be called the Saxon. Sorry, I don't want to get out. Fuck right now. Take your little logo wearing friends with you. All right.
Hold on, the other two are coming in.
This is kind of fun. Yeah, we're going to talk about you when you leave. Don't even. 3, absolutely true. Drug related. I have done no songs. I've just done Saxon shtick. So what did he do? Well, he's kind of talking. I don't know. I don't know what he normally does. He talked about Saxon for about 30 minutes. Does he know about Saxon? He doesn't. He knows they're a heavy metal band, and that's about it, really. Doesn't know that much about metal. A lot of young boys like it. If their small penises become erect when listening to Saxon. Oh, when you're young. When you are young. Probably the sentence, their little penises become more erect while listening to Saxon has never been said in the human language before. I broke the fucking hymen on a new thing in Glasgow. All right. Bring it up, put it on Wikipedia. All right, here we go. When you're young. When you are young. When you are young, you should have nothing more than fun. You should swim in every gutter, ravish every lover, torment every mother when you're young. When you are young. When you are young. When you are young, you should have nothing more than fun. You should snort into the sunrise, bleed to the whites of your eyes and never pause to disguise. When you're young. When you are old. When you are old. When you are old, 1,000 stories to be told. Learning how to flop right, running every stoplight, making every cockfight when you're young. Now, when I was 21, I had little time for fun. I was balancing the college and the band. Now, driving home one day, I saw along my way 2 hitchhikers I picked up in my van. Oh, it seemed so very silly. They kept on saying chili instead of saying cool. That was their word. Chili that, chili this, chili hit, chili miss. Oh, it seemed the oddest thing I'd ever heard. Well, out came the cannabis. And let me tell you this. They rolled a joint as big as a redwood tree. Redwood tree's big fucking tree. Those of you that don't know. A shotgun on the menu. It's huge.